Hi everyone, welcome back to the channeling series. And today I have a message again from the Oracle cards, and it's about your sacred self, right? Your I ams. All right. So, what does it really mean? Um, there are so many things that you observe, right, with your five senses, right? And there are so many things you see, there are so many stories that are fed to you by, your loved ones, people or generally, right, whatever it is that's going on in your life. Somebody is probably, presenting it to you in a certain way. And sometimes even if you're all alone, right, you're still consuming a lot of information, isn't it? Now, the message for today is that whatever that story is, right, or whatever that information is, that data that's being provided to you, the way you imbibe it, right, the way you make it your story is how anything that comes into your life affects you. In other words, any kind of information, right, any relationship, any area of your life, right, only becomes valid for you, any information, when you let it enter your life, right? And even if it enters your life, it's like you're wearing glasses, right? And suppose you're wearing rose tinted glasses, right? Now everything you see is going to be rosy in color, isn't it? Similarly, whatever somebody tells you, you will always take it in a way that is your unique color, right? So suppose if Anisha has a color, there's Anisha, it's called Anisha color. Somebody's coming and telling me, I will filter it, right, through this Anisha color and take it in my life based on that Anisha color, right? So similarly, um, your father could come home, right, and say something very bizarre, maybe about somebody. The way you will um, filter it will be your story, and the way your mother or way your siblings are going to take it is going to be their story, right? So the point is that we all have a filter, right, in our lives based on which we are processing everything in our lives. All right. Now, and that's why, something you could hear on the news and it probably doesn't affect you any like that much. But for someone else, it could be like a panic attack, right? To that level in terms of how they are processing it, right? And how they are making that particular thing that they saw real in their own lives, right? So now let's go a little deeper and talk about what that filter is, right? Now, the message for today is for all of you to understand number one, that everything that's coming towards you, right, is only valid in your life because you've made it valid. You've made it real, right? And the way you've made it real in your life is based on your filters. Okay. And now the filter with which you accept or reject something in life is basically your self concept, right? Which is where the I am comes in. All right. Now, I'll give you an example. Okay. This could be a little deep, but if you listen to it again and again, for whoever this needs to land for, it will, because this is a very specific message for all of you who, watch this video, for you to understand where you're coming from, what your self concept is, how you can work on it, and how anything and everything in your life can change and shift if that I am changes. Okay. Now, the example is that if somebody is helping you, right? If Your I am is that I am an independent woman, right? Then that help will probably be perceived, it could be perceived as somebody who's trying to belittle me, right? Because I'm an independent person, I don't need anybody, right? And so that person is trying to help me, and my I am is going to filter this experience as a not so good experience, right? Whereas for a person who is, I am open to receiving help, if their I am is that, and then if somebody is helping them, for them it's a beautiful experience, right? Because they always look at people as, you know, always helping, forever available, to bring happiness, because this person is open to receiving, right? Now, this is a very small example, but it'll help you understand what your I am is, right? I am a good mother. I am a desperate lover. I am a good girl. I'm a good boy, right? I'm a successful person. I'm a loser. I always miss out on good things, right? Well, that's not an I am. But so let me give you a few questions or maybe journal prompts, right? That'll help you understand what your I am is. Why? Because what's happening is everything that's happening, everything you're experiencing in your life currently, the way it's impacting you or the way it's becoming real in your life, right, is based on your I am. And if something is happening in your life and you don't like it, you can work on your I am. And that's where the whole, one-on-one work that I do with folks, that's where we work on, we go deep into understanding what your I am is, and then shifting that, changing that, transforming that, right? And when you change that from within, you'll see the change outside, right? Because sometimes you would see, you're an adult, right? You're 50 years old, right? However, when you get into a, say, a very stressful situation, suddenly the way you react, if you don't work on it, that work on yourself, that is, suddenly the way you react under that stress is how your inner child used to react, right? So you might just become your 5-year old version or your 10-year old version who experience that stress maybe for the first time, or maybe a lot at that moment, and then they developed some sort of a defense or some sort of a coping mechanism at that time. And if you don't work on that, right, healing that aspect, you can keep growing old, but that inner child will stay very prevalent, that wounded inner child, and that energy keeps vibrating throughout your life, right? And that's where your I ams are coming from, by the way, right? So let me give you a few prompts that I created for all of you. The number one would be, when something goes wrong in my life, what do I immediately think about myself? Okay. I'm a loser. I'm useless. I'm not good enough, right? I'm not worthy. What are those statements? Because that will help you understand what you truly think about yourself, right? Number two, when I compare myself to others, what sentence starts with I am in my mind, right? So when you look at somebody being successful, what do you think? I am not good enough, right? Or like when you compare, what is it? So that's how you think about yourself. Number three, in moments of rejection, silence, or delay, what do I assume it means about me, right? So somebody didn't call you, you're waiting on a meeting and somebody didn't show up. So then what do you think? I'm not worthy of their respect, right? What are those I ams? Because that's your inner child telling you, right? What it thinks about you. Four, if my inner voice were honest, what does it say I am known for, right? I am known for what, right? And number five is, what I am statement feels so familiar that I rarely question it, right? Because the thing is, ultimately, we want to go deeper into our I ams, and maybe the negative ones and the ones that are really belittling ourselves. where we are belittling ourselves are the ones we can change, right? With acceptance, with love, right? And that's the whole point, because um, it could be a critical parent, it could be the trauma, it could be so many experiences, as a little child that helped us develop our I ams, right? Many a times it's even a coping mechanism, right? Point is that if it's not serving you today, not helping you grow, not helping you thrive, right? Then we can change it, right? So today's message is for you, whoever lands on this video, to understand that whatever you're seeing, whatever you are imbibing, whatever is happening in your life, the way it's getting filtered is based on your I ams, your self concept, right? So it's imperative for you to question it, to go deeper in it, to understand, by the way, what is it? Because sometimes we keep functioning on this autopilot all our lives and we don't even know what's going on within us, what that inner child is screaming, right? About. So, this is basically a message to connect with yourself today, right? Understand your I ams and start working on it, right? And these prompts will help you dig a little deeper, and you'll see awareness is the first step to bring that healing in, right? And of course, if any of you want to work one on one, all my details are in the description to get in touch with me. However, today's message I'm sure will resonate with all of you. um, Write down your I am statements in the comments so that everyone else also learns from it and you all can heal collectively, right? I will be back tomorrow with another message. Till then, signing off on each other from Zarya Healings.